It goes back to the interview and all the stuff that Iger said when he came back as CEO in the first earnings call about putting creative back in charge, and that's exactly what he's doing. So hopefully we start seeing the fruit of that soon.
At this moment, as a Parks fan, I'm pretty well happy with the job that he's doing as a Disney Parks fan by just simply eliminating Bob Chapek bullshit. I mean, like, welcome, Walt Disney World fans, to another episode of the Notcast, presented by NotClub33.com. This week on the show, you already know what we're talking. Bob Iger, CEO of the Walt Disney Company. We're going to give him his semester report card. He's been around. He's been back for 6 months. 6 months. So, how do we feel that he's doing so far in the role? My name is Steve Rhodes. This week with me, as usual, is Becky Wells.
Hello.
Pat Neestad is here.
What's up?
And, of course, the Disney Cynic, Mr. Bobby Merchants.
This is one of those episodes that I probably should have substituted my wife on, but she's actually grading like all of her students right now, and so I'm pretty sure the last thing she wants to do is like add another one of these.
Grade one more.
Yeah.
She's on brand.
Take something off her plate.
Yeah, she's on brand, at least, in the other room. Pat, when we get into the dealings of the Disney Company, we like to start with you. You're attuned to the more of the inner workings of things there by just all the research you do for your financials and investments. So I'll start with you,
He's
man.
Our CFO, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, I guess technically. What are some things that have since we last gave
for that?
Yeah, throw back to that. We last gave Mr. Iger some grades, and I guess that was February. Kind of a progress report. Since then, some things have changed inside of the company. Last week, we did a show about the more park-specific stuff, but what are some things? Just bring us up to speed on the company.
So one big thing Iger did was bring back Bruce Vaughn. He left the company in like 2016, and he brought him on as a chief creative officer of Imagineering and co-lead of Walt Disney Imagineering. So my guess is that they brought this guy in because they want to change maybe the culture there in Imagineering, get it back to where it was, and then probably he's working on a lot of stuff that we're going to be seeing probably the next 6 months or so. So yeah, I think that is probably the biggest thing inside the company that people here would care about.
Yeah, I mean, he's I guess to give a little background, he's a creative and not just a bean counter. Whereas Bob Chapek had replaced the head of Imagineering with just some person that weren't they like doing hotel rooms or some shit? Like it was just like
I don't know what she does, but she's still there. But he's head of creative, so
hey.
I thought she was actually counting beans.
No? She might be.
Yeah, no, that's what it seemed like.
Possible.
Every time they would release something, it just looked like a fucking Marriott like that. And they were like, hey, how can we do as cheap as possible?
It goes back to the interview and all the stuff that Iger said when he came back as CEO in the first earnings call about putting creative back in charge. And that's exactly what he's doing. So hopefully we start seeing the fruit of that soon.
Yeah. Do you care to, based on everything you're seeing with the trajectory of the company, do you care to give Mr. Iger a grade here at his semester?
I think Bob Iger is a great manager, and he's a great operator, and I think that I'll give him a B-, just for like this hire seems like it's going to bear some fruit. And I think he's done the small things that we all thought that he would do. So, that's all encouraging to me. I don't know. And like we said before, we thought the vibe of the parks were better. So, and I haven't been back for a while, and maybe Bobby can speak to that. Does it still feel that way to you, or are you taking a turn?
To a degree, but also I think a lot of people are worried about their jobs because they're still going through the layoff situation with all
Yeah.
these, with the 7,000 I think jobs in total
Mhm.
that they're ultimately letting go.
Mhm.
It's all well and good to talk big and to talk about how they're going to make lots of investments in specifically in Florida
Mhm.
and everything like that. Right now, if I had to steer or grab a hold of the steering wheel real quick, I'd have to
Mhm.
give Iger basically a C minus ever since his return for a couple different reasons. One that's not being brought up here on this platform very often, but the situation with the governor here in the state, he
Yeah.
has kind of let that run wild and run amok, and he hasn't actually met with the governor, which I think is something that probably could have calmed a lot of these things down if he
Sure.
had simply gone and done that. So that's one issue that I have. The other is that we've talked about specifically last week some of the new policies that are coming back, so to speak. In 2024, the lack of reservations for non APs, the dining plan coming back. These are all like softballs. These are all
Sure.
things that were teed up to specifically incite a lot of positive vibes within Disney fandom. And while that's all well and good, it took him a full 6 months to announce that kind of thing instead of being able to do so immediately. He
Mhm.
also is announcing these things as if there's some sort of value to the end customer. And
There
with the
are.
dining
I
plan in
mean,
specific,
well,
there's not.
yeah. I mean,
With
not as a monetary value. No, there's no monetary value to the dining plan. It's shit.
right, it's just that
Yeah.
it just seems like he's seeking out the easy wins, and that's all well and good, but there's a lot of hard things that need to happen to get Disney back on track,
Well,
so to speak. And I
you
think
gave him
that
an F
this
before 3 months ago at progress report time. You were giving him an F. So
and it's because
yeah.
he finally actually spoke up and did something to the
Okay.
effect of making some positive policy changes back within the parks. But like I said, the situation with the governor, which I think everybody can read ad nauseum about everything
Sure.
that's going on down
Yeah.
here.
At
Yeah.
the end of the day, the governor has 3 years left, and Disney has forever left, right? So at some point,
Yeah.
the government and Disney are gonna figure something out that
Yeah,
works
they'll
best for
mesh
both of them,
again, but
right?
like I said, it's
This is a
that's
short term
having to go
problem.
to the court system.
But what do you think
That's the
about
disappointment.
Vaughn and like there's a reason why they brought somebody into Imagineering. He's
Yeah.
not just going to be doing nothing,
Yeah.
right? So what do you
Agreed,
think of that?
but agreed that that's a positive sign. But I think it would have been bigger, more of a splash if it was Joe Rody instead that they brought back. And also, I'm still waiting for an announcement of like something substantial. We went last year at D23, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That expo, thinking that we were going to hear more about things that were coming, and really all we got was like, I don't know, a model of
Yeah,
Tiana's,
yeah.
basically, like, and kind of sneakily, subtly, no, we're not doing Mary Poppins over in Britain, y'all. So
Well,
I mean,
Have you
like,
guys
make a
seen?
splash, like,
second week of
You guys,
September. Second week of September.
yeah,
D23 is in Orlando, Bobby. So
yeah.
get over to the Contemporary and
And
join in on the fun, and maybe you learn something.
did you guys
I
see
mean,
the animatronics that they have for Zootopia in Shanghai? They're
no.
pretty incredible. So I mean, it seems to me that they have some stuff that they possibly. I mean, maybe
Is
we
that what
don't
they're
want
going
to
to put
see
in Animal
That
Zootopia.
Kingdom? Yeah.
Maybe not. But
Yeah.
the idea that they have these awesome animatronics that that they could
it's great.
duplicate in
Bring it
some other way
here.
and bring them here
Well,
Becky,
would be
we haven't heard from you yet, Becky.
yeah.
What do you think of all of this, and where do you fall on the grading scale for the CEO?
So I appreciate the perspectives of both of you guys, because both of those things are kind of stuff that I didn't necessarily think of. And I know that this is, by and large, a Disney World
Mhm.
show, but as
Yes.
a company, when we're talking about the head of the company, not considering things that are happening at the international parks, for example, is kind of short-sighted to give him an overall grade, because obviously that's a huge part of what he has to do. Now, a grade for what he's done for Florida, sure, there's a gigantic, flesh wound that he's got a mini Band-Aid on at this point. And so, honestly, until we started talking a little bit more pre-recording, I had even said, like, I have no idea what progress he's made, so maybe that's his own grade right there, because it's like, I don't...
Incomplete.
And then honestly, like 5 minutes before that, like right after we said that, then all these, things get announced that are changing, which again, agree with Bobby, total softballs, things we expected to happen. So we're like inching forward. Thinking back to the insanity of the DVC complete bullshit randomness that they're pulling out of their asses, that's got to go under that cap of CEO too. Like, it has to. It's part of the company.
It does.
Like,
he leads,
a subsidiary, but it makes me nuts. So like, I cannot even get to a B for a grade. It's just got to be a C plus. I don't even know what my grade was last time, but I think I may have dropped it some.
I think you gave him a B.
Okay. And so while I see positives and I see some international cast members coming back, which was like my main thing I was hoping for, as an unannounced thing at that time, overall company wise, like, there's so much that's broken that has to get mended. There's almost no chance that he's getting an A anytime soon.
I think as a company, overall, as a global company, the leader of the global company, his grade's got to be lower than for us as a Walt Disney World Park fan. At this moment, as a Parks fan, I'm pretty well happy with the job that he's doing as a Disney Parks fan by just simply eliminating Bob Chapek bullshit. I mean, like, how dumb was that? I mean, but how dumb was that guy how dumb was that guy that he couldn't even bring back the dining plan? It was going to make you money. Like, you got all these idiots ready to buy something that is just, you're stealing money from customers, and all you got to do is offer it to them, and you get free money. And he wasn't even smart enough. He wasn't even smart enough to do that. And now people are all happy to give all this money to Disney and overpay for a meal they're never going to be able to finish. But I mean, I think as a fan of the park, of Walt Disney World specifically, my grade hasn't changed. I'm still a B-. As a fan of the company, C-. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be desired, and especially when you start looking at the stock not moving, as an investor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's because nothing big is on the horizon. Something that we've not talked about specifically is movies and everything like that. Marvel has taken a couple of I don't want to call them losses, but they've hit a couple of foul balls here with the last couple of movies that have been released, with specifically Ant-Man. And the Wasp and Quantumania, that one apparently did not do very well. This animated movie that they just like straight up didn't market for like period, and that had like a gay character in it or whatever. I don't even know the name of it. That's how
World.
It's some
no idea.
I mean, like,
we just watched it. I had no
Strange
idea.
World.
Okay.
Yeah,
Strange
it
World.
might as well have been, just something else, that they didn't market. They didn't even let us know. You would think that they would be hyping that kind of thing up at this point, but no, there was nothing out there in terms of marketing or anything like that. So like from the movie's perspective, like what do we have to look forward to at this point? Because all it seems to me is a bunch of sequels and a lot of unknowns when it comes to the movie slate that's coming up too. And I think that would be like first and foremost on the minds of a lot of Disney fans, since that's how we all probably got started being Disney fans in the first place.
Well, since school is going out, I guess we will reconvene on this thing. We won't do a 3 months check-in. We'll be checking in I guess after D23 with Mr. Iger in the report card, because then that's when we're going to have
fall
some meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we don't get anything then that grade goes down a lot.
Yeah.
So.
School's out of session, so we're out of session on his grades as well. So we'll follow up with Mr. Iger's report card and how that thing goes sometime in mid-September when we have more details as to the direction of the company after D23. For you guys at home, if you guys want to know when we drop another video, which is usually Friday, 4 p.m. Magic Kingdom time, hit the notification icon so you'll know when we upload those videos. Consider subscribing. It really does help us out here on the channel. And just simply hit like on the video because that bumps us up in the YouTube algorithm. For everybody here at Not Club 33, we'll see you soon.